All right, everybody, good morning. We're giving you a live look right now from 100 Riverside Drive in Jeffersonville, where Cluckers is. Jeffersonville Fire is responding to a fire there right by the area of Harry's Tap House as well. Right now, we don't know if anybody is hurt. Our photojournalist is talking to some folks at the scene right now who know exactly what is going on. But as you can see, this was definitely a very serious structure fire. That building appears to have collapsed. We are told as well that this was apparently started as reports of a trash fire that then became a structure fire when the crews got to the scene. So we're going to keep you updated here throughout the morning as we learn more. We do say good morning to you, Kentuckiana. I'm Grace McKenna. Meteorologist Matthew Willoughby here in the studio with us with a look at our weather for today. Certainly cold out there, Matthew, as crews are fighting that fire in Jeffersonville. Yeah,
I was just thinking that. I was like, definitely cold out there as they battle those fires outside for you. How cold we're talking? Yeah, into the lower 20s this morning. So definitely if you're heading out for this morning, grab the jackets, grab multiple jackets and the hat because we have temperatures into the lower 20s. It is that dry air really as well that's really making it feel even colder outside along with the wind gusts for this morning. How cold we're talking? Well, it's 8 degrees for a feel-like temperature here in Louisville. LaGrange at 7 degrees. In Paoli, it is 6 degrees for a feel-like temperature. So it is just downright cold across our area for this morning. And temperatures across the Midwest and Mid-South continue to be into the lower 20s. In some areas like Champaign, Illinois, 12 degrees. Chicago at 12 degrees. And Quad Cities at 11 degrees. So it is just cold outside for the start of this Tuesday, right around 6 a.m. Let's give you a look at satellite right now. Really not seeing much out there for us as we do still have a few flurries, but no accumulation is expected. May need the hot coffee for today for your Tuesday coffee blender. For midday, we'll warm up to 30 degrees, and eventually by the evening hours, we'll be back into the 20s with cloudy conditions. High temperatures across the area. Louisville will be the warmest spot at 32 degrees, but outside of that, across our area, likely sticking into the upper 20s, especially into the western portion of our area. But we're giving you a look at the New Year's Eve forecast coming up in just a bit and what to expect in those details as you head closer to the start of 2026. Now, let's get a look at that traffic tracker for the start of your morning and tell you what to expect on those roadways. Overall, pretty clear out there for you, of course, with a lot of people off for the holidays, school out. Not going to see much traffic likely for today. We are still seeing 2 stalled vehicles along I-65, though, but give you a look across the Louisville Metro. Pretty clear out there for you this morning as you make your Tuesday morning commute. Back over to you, Grace.
All right, Matthew, thank you. This morning, Brooks Houck is behind bars in Kentuckiana while making his appeal to the state's high court. He's currently serving a life sentence for his role in the death of Bardstown mother Crystal Rogers. Now we've learned Houck is being held in the Rotorua Minimum Security Prison in LaGrange. Vine, the victim notification system, sent notice out on Monday. Since sentencing, Houck had been held at an Eastern Kentucky facility. We're told while in LaGrange, he'll be classified, then given a permanent prison assignment. Houck is still appealing his sentence before the Kentucky Supreme Court. Court documents show his attorneys filed a motion requesting more time to file an appellate brief, which is supposed to be due this Friday, January 2nd. The state's high court has yet to rule on the motion. As the temperatures dip and we get into the thick of winter, sickness is striking hard. Right now, the flu is gripping many folks in Kentuckiana. WHAS11's Jose Alonso spoke with local healthcare workers who say cases are only expected to rise next month.
Exam rooms like this could become familiar for some people this holiday season. Dr. Joshua Brandon with Norton Healthcare says it's the season for the flu to spread.
Last year was actually one of the biggest years in the past decade for influenza. This year is tracking maybe a little bit behind that, but still we're seeing a significant amount of flu cases coming in. I've even seen some today.
The Louisville Metro Department of Public Health and Wellness has recorded 1,953 cases of influenza since the end of September. The dashboard shows cases began to rise around November, with almost 600 cases reported the week of December 20th alone.
The typical flu symptoms, is going to be feeling like you were hit by a bus, fatigue, fevers, chills, body aches, sometimes even difficulty breathing.
Once you test positive for the flu, doctors may prescribe medication. At Good Brothers Pharmacy in West Louisville, pharmacist Michaela Brooks is filling those orders.
I have received a couple prescriptions for Tamiflu, which is a medication that commonly treats when people do get the flu.
Dr. Brandon says the best line of defense is preventative care.
This is the 2025-26 flu vaccine. This is for patients under 65 years old.
Like getting the shot at your primary care office or local pharmacy. It's available upon request at Good Brothers, but Brooks noticed it's not being sought after.
I haven't had any patients that have called in looking for the flu shot. Is it alarming? No. It is an overall consensus that patients usually don't want the flu shots unless they have to have it for work-related issues or, being around someone who has a low immune system or things like that.
Health officials expect cases for this virus to continue rising as we enter January. In Louisville, Jose Alonso, WHAS11 on your side.
Dr. Brandon urges anyone with symptoms like fatigue, chills, or body aches to get tested immediately. He also recommends celebrating the new year cautiously because even those without symptoms can spread the flu. Let's give you a look now at the CDC's flu map. Right now, compared to the rest of the country, Kentucky is considered in the minimal range. Indiana is in the low range. The report takes into account outpatient visits to healthcare providers, cases of a fever, plus a cough or sore throat. Not all reported cases are confirmed for the flu. Millions of dollars are coming to the Bluegrass State to help shape the future of rural health care. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear announced Kentucky's Rural Health Transformation Plan has been accepted in full by the Trump administration. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says the program is a $50 billion initiative to strengthen health care in rural communities across the country. In 2026, states will get first-year awards from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, averaging $200 million. Governor Beshear said this secures nearly $213 million in funding to lessen the impacts of recent federal cuts and help support health care in Kentucky's rural communities and rural hospitals. And Indiana Governor Mike Braun announced the Hoosier State is getting nearly $207 million for the first year of that program. In a release, Braun said Indiana's rural communities are the backbone of the state, and this investment will help ensure every Hoosier, regardless of where they live, has access to high-quality, sustainable health care. In other Indiana health news, a deadline is approaching for the state's hospitals. A new state law requires the Hoosier State's largest hospital systems to lower their prices to the state average by the end of June 2029. If not, they could lose tax-exempt status. Multiple national studies found Indiana has some of the highest hospital prices in the country. One study from IU Indianapolis found the average American pays about $10,191 a year for health care, but the average Hoosier's costs are about $325 more. The study also pointed out Indiana employers use more self-insurance than the national average, and the state spends little on public health. A welcome change to kick off the new year for Kentuckians. Starting this Thursday, you will be paying less in individual income tax. On January 1st, the rate drops from 4% to 3.5%. Right now, Kentucky's median household income is roughly $64,000. So a household making that will go from paying just over $2,500 in individual state income tax to roughly $2,250. That's around $322 in savings. We talked to customers at the Save a Lot grocery store on Taylor Boulevard about the change.
It'll help me. Yeah, be a little bit on groceries, a little bit on gas. Every dollar in my pocket counts, I watch every penny.
Republican Kentucky lawmakers who passed the income tax cut suggest tourism will bring in more people to help make up for lost revenue. That money helps fund public education and road projects. And with the new year, another new Kentucky law is going to effect, impacting smoke shops. It's designed to help stop teen vaping and requires smoke shops to register with the state. Under the new law, Alcohol and Beverage Control can make unannounced visits to shops to ensure they aren't selling to minors. Happening later this morning, a convicted felon shot by Metro police officers just under 2 weeks ago is scheduled to be arraigned. Asa McNeely is facing charges of wanton endangerment and convicted felon in possession of a handgun. On the morning of December 18th, LMPD responded to a ShotSpotter call on West Chestnut Street. Once they arrived, police say McNeely attempted to run before announcing he was armed. Officers shot McNeely after he allegedly didn't listen to commands and reached for his waistband. He's due in court this morning at 9. All right, Matthew, coming over to you. What's one thing we need to know? Yeah, we are counting down the new year, and we're talking some cold temperatures on the way for us as we do count down the new year. It's also likely some flurries on the way for us as you go towards the closer part of midnight, as you head towards New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. I'll be timing out what you can expect and all those details you need to know in just a bit.